right? So we got more than 20 students on, or around 20 students on board. So today we are gonna finish our chapter on dumping, and I believe that you already got some basic knowledge on the issue of dumping here. Of course, there are so many new cases regarding the dumping practice committed by the member of the WTO, and we also got complaint lodged by the inter-party, inter-country to the WTO dispute settlement body. Because right now we got no appellate body working, but we got the panel, we got the consultation stage that will avail the party to conduct the hearing, to join the hearing, to know who will be adjudicated the award and so on. So at least you got to know a lot of basic principle of the dumping practice. Okay, and next week, if nothing changed, I would jump to the new chapter on the subsidy. It's quite similar to dumping, but subsidy here is a form of financial support provided by the government or any other body that is supported by the government, okay, in the financial support way to the private enterprise, private company, in order to lower down the cost, production cost, and then sell at the low price to challenge the foreign company or to give unfair advantage to the other company operating in the country. So safeguard measure, dumping, and subsidy are the three elements of trade remedy. However, only dumping and subsidy are considered as unfair practice. Again, only subsidy and dumping are considered as unfair practice of trade, while safeguard measure is not considered as unfair, because safeguard measure is only the situation in which the import, increased dramatically, that it injure. All right, yeah. Okay, so the next 2 weeks is gonna be the Khmer New Year celebration holiday, and also it's gonna be the semester break. Yeah, so you already got all the midterm examination from the other course, right? Except this course?
Not yet, teacher.
All right. I just want to also inform you that I might not stick to the schedule, to the course syllabus. I mean, because in the course syllabus, we got some important chapter that were already studied, that were already examined in semester 1. So I decided to skip, and then I would include any chapter that I think most relevant to the Cambodia trade and international trade that happen right now, so that you can relate. I will not focus on the book or something that is provided by any guideline, but I might just quickly go to the issue. For example, Ukraine war. I'm gonna make it relevant to your study, and then you can actually make yourself attached to the global and regional trade development. So that is my principle here. Okay. And today we're gonna have the midterm examination. As I said, we're gonna have 5 keywords to be defined. You're gonna give the definition in your own word, and then we will move to the second section on the comprehension question. Then we'll be having 3 questions. We will be having 3 questions, and then you have to answer. You have to answer accordingly. Yes. So let me move to the. Yes, I also got week number 9. We got the foreign investment law, very important, very interesting, and it's gonna be very engaging, because you will see the case of South Korea company Buyong Town, okay, Camco City, and so on. They file complaint against the government. How can the private company file complaint against the government who has the legal personality based on the international law? Because normally private entity, private company has no any legal personality or no sovereignty to enter into any international complaint. But here, under the new foreign investment law regime, okay, international foreign company, private company are right now possessing legal personality to enter into any conflict against that at the international court. So you will be very engaging when that session comes. So I just want to inform you on that one. Okay, I'm right now opening the slide. All right. As I remember, we almost finished the slide last week, but we remain 3 or 2 more slides to finish today. And all right, so can you see the slide right now? Right now, guys. Confirm me now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So last week I talked a lot about the condition that the party must prove to exist before that party can conduct or can start any or can launch any investigation against the other party. So we got the first element is to ensure that the dumping exists, and the dumping exists in order to prove that the dumping exists, you have to ensure that the export price is lower than or less than the normal value. Okay, so the normal value refers to the value that is sold, that the product is sold at home in the exporting country. Okay, in the domestic market of the exporting country, but the export price refers to the price that is of transaction value, transaction price between exporter and the buyer in the other country. So the price at the border is considered as the export price. So if the export price is lower than the normal value, indeed it is called dumping existent. So we can prove that dumping is indeed existing. So we certify condition number 1. However, that condition number 1 cannot allow you to impose any anti-dumping duty at all. You need to certify the other important element, important condition of dumping practice, which is the injury. Okay, you have to make sure that the dumping here exists and then there is injury. And who is the object to be considered as facing injury? It is domestic company. However, the few company, 1, 2, 3 company cannot be considered as the domestic company as long as their collective proportion or their single proportion or collective proportion equal majority of the whole proportion of that product. Okay, so 1 or 2 or 3 companies is not the issue, but the issue is that is their collective output, collective outcome or collective production equal majority of the whole productions of the product in that country. If the production, the collective production or output is equal the majority of the whole productions of that product in that market, they can of course certify as the domestic industry, and then it can actually be qualified to file complaint to the authority of the country. Okay, so okay, you prove that dumping exists. Right now, you could also verify that there is injury caused by the impacted or faced by the domestic industry, domestic company. That's not yet enough, right? You also need to find the causal relationship. Okay, the causal relationship between the injury and dumping. Okay, so with even though you found the dumping exists, you found injury, but what if the injury is not caused by the dumping, but it is caused by some other non-contribution element or factor? For example, you don't have any technology, your company do not create any technology to create value add, to create something innovative that can attract the consumption behavior of the people out there. Or in other words, you don't have, your company do not have any marketing strategy to attract the buyer to be appealed by your product, and then they are not attracted to buy your product, so your product sell, okay, will plunge into water or will be lower compared to the last year, for example, and then you say that I'm facing the injury caused by the dumping. No, okay. It is not because of the dumping existing. The dumping exists, but the dumping does not cause any injury to you, but it is your lack of marketing strategy, your lack of technological innovation, or your the people in your country are right now having a new pattern of consumption behavior. For example, they no longer prefer to use the product that that they used to use before. Okay, so these are all the non-contribution factor that can also impact the relationship between injury and dumping, or dumping and injury, right? So you need to satisfy the three conditions here before you can impose any anti-dumping duty. And the anti-dumping duty is determined by the level of dumping margin. And the dumping margin is the number that you subtract the export price with the normal value, and then you will see the dumping margin. If your export price is lower than is $2 lower than the normal value, it means that you will add $2 on import duty on the product. It is called anti-dumping duty. The duty is added into the tariff regime, okay, on that product, because you want to compensate what you have lost to the dumping practice by the exporting countries. Okay. So again, I just want to recall, because we already studied this in last week's session. However, I want to recall so that you can get the light before we start with the new slide today. Okay. Okay, I think this one shall be number 3, not number 2, because we got number 1 here, determination of dumping, and number 2, determination of injury and threat of injury to domestic industry, and number 3, okay, determination of causal linkage or causal relationship. I think you all got well aware of this condition. Okay, so right now let us move on to the procedure that the.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, come on.
You haven't explained the PT methodology.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I owe you that one thing. PT methodology refer to the product to product. Okay, for example, if there are many products, there are many normal value at home. Okay, and there are many export price at the border. So we don't choose the W. We don't choose the W, but we choose the product to product. Let's say that if product A, okay, we got the same product, but we got product A, product B, C, D, but they are in the same category. But we want to know if this industry sell this product at home and at the market, the export price is lower than the normal value or not. They will not find the average normal value from all the export value or from all the normal value in that market, but they will choose only that transaction normal value of that product made by that company. Okay, and then they will follow up with that product with that company with regards to the export price. Okay, so they don't choose average normal price, normal value of that product of that company committed by the company to compare, okay, with the average export price made by the company, sold by the company of that product. No, but we choose the transaction export price and transaction normal value of that product of that company. It's just like targeted dumping, okay, because here we don't choose any average, but we choose that individual, okay, that individual. For example, we got the remote control here. Okay, so we got so many remote control. Okay, but this remote control is sold by a company A. Okay, and also export to the foreign country by the company A. Okay, however, there are so many remote control sold in Cambodia, but we choose only the normal value of that export remote control to compare with the transaction export price of that remote control. T versus T, not W versus T, not T versus W, not W versus W. It is T, transaction value of the normal value, and transaction value of the export price. Individual product, individual company. We target it. Okay. So simply speaking, we don't choose the average one, but we choose the individual transaction, and then we follow up on that lines of control, remote control of the company until they release the export value. Okay, and then we can compare whether that company, that particular company, commit any dumping of that particular product or not. Okay. There are many products, the same product inside the market and sell at a foreign country. Export price, we got so many. normal volume. We got so many, but we choose only that one to compare with that one. We don't choose the average here to compare with the individual here. We don't choose the individual here to compare with the average there, but we choose the individual to compare with the individual. Okay. You got a point, guys? I think they're very easy, right? But I got confused back then last week. Okay, so just like targeted dumping, okay, we target this product, we target that company, and then we follow up with the company of that product until the export. Okay. So we choose the transaction value of that transaction export price of the product to compare with the normal value of that product, the transaction normal value of the product. So you got a point here? Not the average, individual transaction of the same line of product and also company.
Answer.
Yeah, right. Anybody starting?
Cho Khoa bảo WT chưa?
WT average versus individual transaction. WT mean we got the export price in one border gate, okay, in one border gate, and then we got so many normal value at home, but we choose the average normal value at home. We don't care about who sell for whom, but we talk only about that product, and then we find the average value sold in the domestic market of that product, and then we compare with one location, transaction, export price. So we got so many land, many line, many get of transaction export price, but we choose one, okay, to compare with the average here, W versus T. Okay. So W mean the average, wage average, and T mean individual, to make it simple.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's kind of complicated, but when you think carefully, okay, slowly, okay, you will understand. Okay, you will understand. So think, not just to try to understand, but think to understand. Tomorrow I will be the interviewer for the tuning scholar. I'm gonna be the one that also determines their success in the tuning journey. I will interview from 1:30 to 4 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. So I think I will apply my questioning tactic, okay, as the way that I question you, I explain you in order to challenge those candidates, okay, at the embassy tomorrow. Hopefully next year, lots of you guys here will be applying tuning, and then we can meet at the final interview stage, okay. Right. Okay. So yes. So when, okay, party B or country B, okay, who face the injury caused by the dumping of country A, the authority, the competing authority of country B or the injured party could start investigation on their own initiative. What does it mean? It means that the authority does not need to get any consent from party A, does not need to get consent from the WTO committee on anti-dumping or whatsoever. They don't need any consent or permission, okay, or any written consent from anybody of the WTO or any member of the exporting country. They will start investigation right away based on their own initiative, based on the complaint that they got from their domestic company who face injury. Okay, so they can actually start investigation based on their own initiative, and there the authority shall make written applications submitted on behalf of domestic industry. It means that when they want to start any investigation, all the written communication must be made by the authority on behalf of the domestic industry. Domestic industry are allowed to provide evidence, to provide any material, to provide any written documentation, but the one that communicate to anybody, to any exporting member, to any company in the exporting countries, shall be made by the authority on behalf of the company. You cannot bring the company in your country who face injury to face with the country A company, to face with the country A or government. It must be you, okay, to write the applications, okay, on investigation on behalf of your domestic company according to Article 4 of the Anti-Dumping Agreement. Okay. So again, you work for the company interest, okay, because you are the government, you are obliged, okay, you are required, you are mandated to represent the interests of your domestic company. However, the way that you represent must be the way that you work something on their behalf. So when they face any injury caused by the alleged dumping practice by the other party, you, the competent authority, shall make the written application, okay, on behalf of this company. But you need to also get agreement from them. You need to get evidence from them. You also need to get, the causal relation. You can see here the written application shall include, for example, evidence of dumping. The domestic company must tell the authority that I can see now. I can see the export price of that product is lower than the normal value found in that country. So I think this is one evidence to support that dumping exists. Okay, the committee, the authority, my group of company would like to also provide you the evidence of injury to the domestic industry then we could also provide the evidence of causal relationship between injury and dumping for you, and then you can, you here refer to the authority. Okay, authority can make a written application. Okay, that include all the following point. Okay, 1, 2, 3 here, but those point must be provided by the company that face injury, the company that needs to get justice from that unfair dump practice. Again, the company file complaint again, party A, country A, but they are not going there directly. They need the authority of the government, mandated by the government, created or launched by the government to write on their behalf, to challenge on their behalf. All right. So you cannot, I'm the private company, I have legal personality, I want to go to WTO, I want to file complaint to the other party who I found committing dumping practice. No, you cannot. You have no any legal personality to challenge the other state. That is not investment law. Here it is about using anti-dumping agreement in 1995 under the WTO. So you cannot do so directly. You need to depend on the competent authority of your country. For example, in the case of US and Cambodia, the US alleged Cambodia of dumping the mattress product exported to the US in 2019. It was not the American company, okay, to file complaint against Cambodian government, but they filed complaint, okay, to their federal, I forgot the name, but it was the body that was under the secretary, not secretary, we call Department of Commerce. Okay, in the U.S., Department means ministry, Department of Defense, Department of Commerce, okay, Department of Trade and so whatsoever. So they will file complaint to the Department of Commerce, and the Department of Commerce is considered as the competent authority on behalf of the U.S. or American domestic industry that face the injury from the import from Cambodia. Okay. And Cambodia, we got the Ministry of Commerce, okay, who is the competent authority to write a written application on behalf of our Cambodian domestic company who face injury from any dump import from the foreign countries. Okay. So the government will work to represent the interests of the domestic private company, okay, domestic private industry. So to make it clear, you, the private company, me, the firm and so on, cannot file complaint directly, but you must be going through the competent authority of your government. And when you create the written application, okay, submitted to the party that you convicted of committing dumping, you need to also, okay, invite interested party, including exporter in the country that you allege of committing dumping, and also the other producer in your country to present the evidence. Okay. So you, the competent authority, work as the bridge, okay, that connects the exporter in the exporting country that we allege of committing dumping to challenge, to present the evidence with the, okay, importer or the producer in your importing country who you believe that, who you found that, who you have heard that they are facing injury from the dumping. Okay. So again, when you finish writing your application, okay, your document, put on a tab and then invite other party to present the document, to present the evidence during the investigation by the authority. Okay. So again, to make it clear, party B must mandate one authority to investigate, and that authority must, okay, get the evidence, get all the material, get all the argument, get all the information, get all the inquiry from the domestic company who face injury, who want to complain against the other company, but they have to use you as the middleman, as the authority, because you are the government, you have your legal personality. Okay. And then at the same time, when you finish writing your application document, you need to also put on the table and then submit to the exporting party, and then allow the exporter, okay, in the exporting country who you accuse of committing dumping to also have chance to present the evidence. You cannot say, I conduct investigation and then I have to impose dumping, anti-dumping duty on you because I found that dumping exists from there and we got injury, we got casual linkage. No, you must provide an opportunity for all parties to present the evidence, okay, the document, the material. Even at the WTO, when a party submit communication for the request for consultation or appellate body or the panel stage whatsoever, they always provide a space, they always provide a meeting room, they always provide a meeting arrangement for both parties to present the document, okay, to present the evidence. Okay, you cannot work on their behalf and then you have to do everything on their behalf. No, you have to invite them to challenge, okay, to provide evidence and some of the important document to prove that you have the higher bargaining power with the other party. Otherwise, you have nothing in hand. Okay, you just get the complaint from the domestic company, and then you don't allow them to have any say, to have any word during the hearing. You're gonna lose the conflict, the dispute indeed. All right. So again, this is the process of investigation. Okay. However, during the investigation, let me say that, let me ask you that, if dumping exists, okay, and it caused injury, of course, we found that it caused injury, and our domestic company suffer the very serious injury, serious difficulty. Let's say that they cannot sell the product at home anymore. They cannot, develop their industry. They cannot create any new strategy to challenge the dump import. They are right now stuck. Their hands are tied. Okay? They are right now locked. They cannot do anything. They face very serious injury. Okay? And then you haven't published your investigation result, but you found that dumping exists. Initially, you found that dumping exists. So can you impose anti-dumping duty right now when you haven't published your investigation outcome to prove that you satisfy all the three conditions? Okay, so can you impose any anti-dumping measure, anti-dumping duty during the process of investigation? Not yet finished, not yet produced any result, but can you do so? Anybody can guess. Because if you don't impose any measure, let's say that the dumping will sack your domestic company. I mean, it will kill everything. You have to wait. We cannot impose any anti-dumping duty because we have to wait our result of investigation first. We need to ensure that our result is affirmative or positive, that dumping exists, that injury exists, that there is the causal relationship between dumping and injury, and then we can actually right now completely legally impose dumping duty. But can you wait for this long? What if your investigation took more than 6 months or 12 months or 1 year, for example, let's say that. So how can you wait? Will you need to wait and then see all your domestic company right now get out of the market because of the dump import? And then you will publish the report right away? What is the sense of publishing the report when all your market, all your industry, domestic industry are out of the market because of the dump practice? So you got my point? So in this stand, do you think that the investigating authority or investigating country can impose any measure during investigation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. We will see in the next slide that we have provisional measure that they can impose during investigation. You know, there are many cases that need 2 or 3 years of resolution. And then if you wait the resolutions to be finalized, to be affirmative, to be positive that you can legally impose anything, will it be too late? Let's say that you are right now exporting mango. And then right now the mango is stuck at the border because the other party is putting the measure. Let's say that they put SPS measure, sanitary and phytosanitary measure to check our mango quality, our mango hygiene, and then the intention is to bar our export, not to reach the market. They want to prevent our export not to reach the market, but they use that SPS measure, the non-tariff measure, as the camouflage measure against our product. So if we need to wait, if we need to file complaint to the WTO, we need to hear the panel report, we need to get the verdict. Let's say that if the other party decided to go to proceed to the appellate body stage, we still need to get the verdict or to get the word from the appellate body first. So what about our mango? Can it sustain for 2 or 3 years? Only 1 week is more than enough. Okay. So what mechanism that WTO allow the inter party to do? They can impose provisional measure. Provisional measure. The measure are just like the effective measure, but they are put provisionally only. And if the investigation result is anyway positive or negative, they will compensate based on that. Okay? They will compensate based on that. Because if they don't impose the measure right away, they don't provide any resolution, provisional resolution or interim resolution, the product will be decay. The product will be no longer existing. Okay, let's say the mango will decay within 1 week. So what is the point of giving the verdict that, okay, you win, but I win, okay, I win the case, but my mango is right now no longer in the market. All my mango are right now decay. Okay, so what is the point of getting the victory verdict, victory award from the dispute settlement body? Okay, you got my point, guys? All right.
Like Tom.
Yes.
So does the both party, like the export and the import, need to agree on the provisional measure first?
Don't need a right. The exporting country have no any right to challenge the importing country who impose provisional measure. You can challenge if finally the result of investigation say that there is no dumping, or that there's dumping but there is no injury, or there is dumping, there is injury but there is no causal relationship. Then you can claim all the compensation that you face during the provisional measure imposed by importing country. You can claim it, but you cannot challenge, or you cannot impose provisional measure against me right now because we have not yet found any affirmative resolution, affirmative result from the investigation. No, you cannot. You have to accept that measure, but you need to also wait the result of investigation. If the results say that there is affirmative mean there is dumping, there is injury, there is causal relationship, and then you, okay, fine. I suffer the consequences from my dumping already. But if the result of investigation indicate that there is no dumping, or there is no causal relationship, or there is no injury, you have to claim all the cost that incur during the provisional measure. All right. So you got a point here.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. I was about to explain to you something, but when I forgot. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, just move on, all right? Yes. These are the 3 important measures, okay, that the importing country could impose. Okay, could impose. So the first one is provisional measure. Second one is price undertaking. And third one is definitive anti-dumping duty. or it means affirmative or legally permitted anti-dumping duty. So what are them? I'm going to explain one by one. So point number one is provisional measure. So provisional measure cannot be applied when you start investigation. Okay. Let the law say that I can impose provisional measure during investigation. No, you cannot do so. You can impose only after the investigation has already exceeded 60 days or 2 months. Because if they allow you to impose the provisional measure right away during your investigation, let's say that you just start within a week and then you impose provisional measure, it's very nonsense because it's gonna impact the exporting country anyway. So they needs you to wait for 60 days first that you can impose any provisional measure. Okay. So you need to wait. I mean, the importing country, the importing country authority needs to wait for the investigation to exit or to proceed 60 days first or 2 months first that they can impose any measure, provisional measure. Bên của là nhung kịch thà tin này đang dumping nhưng nhung sừng kết vấp dẹp sừng kết ban mà tất rồi có ban mà ngay đã provisional measure đang toàn đang soi sao investigation đang member đâu na đang cân cam can khỏi đã biết thay investigation tó lên đã provisional measure là cái ở tế bắt đầm đâu đã ban nó không cả sừng kết vẫn đã lúc ra tại cả sừng kết lừa dẹp bị khai dân lừa dẹp bị phọc sập khai dân từ bờ tây nôm chỗ luôn ai đã measure provisional measure ប្រឆាំងទៅលើតំណែងដែលគាត់យល់ថាមិនមែនគាត់រកឃើញថាណាដែលគាត់យល់ថាឡើយពីព្រោះក្នុងដំណាក់កាលស៊ើបអង្កេតដែលគាត់ចោទថា commit dumping លក់ប្រខូចថ្លៃអូខេអញ្ចឹងតើតាការស៊ើបអង្កេតហ្នឹងលើសពី2ខែសិនទើបអាចដាក់នឹងបាន You got a point guys? All right.
Yes sir, yeah.
Yes. What about the rest? Are you fine, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There are many other ways that you can also include in the provisional measure. It's not only about UT. It's not only about UT, but it's about security. It's about cash deposit. It's about bond, or it's about any other thing that is equal to amounts of the preliminary determines dumping margin. What does it mean? So let me say in Khmer, វាមិនមែនតើដាក់ពន្ធហ្នឹងទើបហៅថាជា provisional measure ទេដល់តែយើងសន្មតថាពីការស៊ើបអង្កេត2ខែប៉ុន្តែមិនទាន់បានលទ្ធផលទេប៉ុន្តែបើយើងនៅរងចាំទៀតអត់ដាក់ provisional measure អា domestic industry យើងវា face injury វានៅតែរងគ្រោះអត់អាចធ្វើអីកើតទាំងអស់អញ្ចឹងរដ្ឋាភិបាលត្រូវតែដាក់ provisional measure ពីព្រោះច្បាប់អនុញ្ញាតទេឲ្យដាក់នៅពេលដែល investigation លោកបាន2ខែឬក៏60ថ្ងៃហើយអញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលដាក់យើងមិនមែនដាក់តតែ UT ទៅឲ្យដាក់បានទេបើសិនជាប្រទេសណាខ្ញុំអត់ចង់ដាក់ UT យើង zero rate ស្រាប់ហើយយើងនៅក្នុងក្របខ័ណ្ឌ FTA ខ្ញុំមិនចង់ឲ្យមានរូបភាពមួយថាFTA យើងពន្ធ0រាប់ឆ្នាំស្រាប់តែម្ដងឥឡូវខ្ញុំបន្ថែមពន្ធដោយសារតែ dumping margin វា$2ហើយឯងលក់ export price ឯងវាថោកជាង normal value $2ខ្ញុំបន្ថែម$2ទៅលើពន្ធនាំចូលវាត្រូវច្បាប់វាអនុញ្ញាតហើយ provisional measure យើងដាក់ឲ្យស្មើ dumping margin ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំមិនចង់ដាក់ហ្នឹងទេខ្ញុំដាក់អីផ្សេងជាតម្រងផ្សេងខ្ញុំដាក់ប្រកាសជា security ឲ្យអ្នកឯងត្រូវតែផ្ដល់លុយជាអានេះគេហៅថាការធានាអីមួយគេដល់ឯងត្រូវផ្ដល់លុយមកខ្ញុំជាការធានាឬក៏ផ្ដល់ជា deposit ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាភាសាខ្មែរគេនិយាយមិនភាសាសេដ្ឋកិច្ច deposit ហ្នឹង deposit ហ្នឹងគឺយើង
តម្កល់
តម្កល់លុយទុកនៅនោះសិនអូខេបើសិនជាខ្ញុំរកឃើញថាអ្នកឯងអត់មាន dumping ទេខ្ញុំឲ្យលុយនឹងមកវិញប៉ុន្តែអាលុយហ្នឹងត្រូវគណនាឲ្យសមាមាត្រស្មើនឹង dumping margin វាថា dumping margin វា$2អញ្ចឹងបើយើងគិតទៅ$2នៃតំណែងរាប់រយរាប់ពាន់មុខវាស្មើនឹងប្រមាណគិតទៅអញ្ចឹងបើគិតទៅត្រូវគាត់ថាស្មើ$2លានអញ្ចឹងអ្នកឯងតម្កល់លុយទុក$2លានឲ្យខ្ញុំមកខ្ញុំអត់ដាក់ UT អត់នេះទេអូខេខ្ញុំអត់ impose នេះ UT ទេគឺខ្ញុំដាក់ខ្ញុំមកគិតថាបើ dumping margin $2នៃតំណែងឯងទាំងអស់វាស្មើប៉ុន្មាន$ខ្ញុំនឹងឲ្យអ្នកឯងតម្កល់លុយក្នុងតម្លៃប៉ុណ្ណឹងប៉ុន្តែមិនមែនតម្រង់ជាពន្ធទេប៉ុន្តែជាលុយតម្កល់ deposit គេឬក៏ជា bond គេជាការទិញប្រាក់ ទិញប្រាក់បូនទិញប្រាក់ស្អីអាហ្នឹងវាចូលនៃសេដ្ឋកិច្ចខ្ញុំចាំប៉ុន្តែរននឹកផលិតរនឃើញអាហ្នឹងនៃ financial market monetary market ប៉ុន្តែយើងយល់ហើយគ្នាយើងយល់ហើយយើងរៀនយូរហើយ security ជាស្អី deposit ជាអី bond ជាស្អីគេអញ្ចឹងមិនឲ្យជា UT ខ្ញុំអត់ impose ជា UT ប៉ុន្តែអ្នកឯងត្រូវផ្ដល់ឲ្យខ្ញុំជានេះវិញពីព្រោះបើសិនជាខ្ញុំរកឃើញថាការ certificate របស់ខ្ញុំស្រាប់តែថ្ងៃមួយវា finalize វារកឃើញថាពិតជាមាន dumping ពិតជាមាន injury ហើយពិតជាមាន causal relationship between dumping and injury ខ្ញុំ certify all the three condition គឺខ្ញុំនឹងយកអ្វីដែលអ្នកឯង deposit ហ្នឹងហើយខ្ញុំអត់មាន impose UT ទេគឺខ្ញុំយកអាហ្នឹងទាំងអស់ខ្ញុំយកទាំងអស់ប៉ុន្តែ UT ទៅក្រោយខ្ញុំបន្តយកខ្ញុំបន្ត impose UT អាហ្នឹងជាសិទ្ធិរបស់ខ្ញុំពីព្រោះខ្ញុំរកឃើញតែវា dumping ហើយអញ្ចឹងអ្វីដែលខ្ញុំ impose provisional កន្លងមកគឺខ្ញុំយកខ្ញុំមិនឲ្យអ្នកឯងទេពីព្រោះត្រឹម2ខែក្រោយការ2ខែនៅពេលការ certificate បានលើស2ខែខ្ញុំអាចមានសិទ្ធិក្នុងការយកខ្ញុំអាចដាក់ provisional measure អញ្ចឹងអា measure ដែលខ្ញុំដាក់ provisional ឥឡូវវារកឃើញថា dumping exist ខ្ញុំ certify all the three condition អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំអាចយកផលប្រយោជន៍ចេញពី measure ខ្ញុំបានប៉ុន្តែបើសិនជាយើងស្រាប់តែយើង certificate រកឃើញថា there is no dumping ឬក៏ dumping មានប៉ុន្តែអត់ injury ឬក៏ dumping និង injury មានប៉ុន្តែ injury មិន cause ដោយ dumping អត់មាន relationship between dumping and injury ទេសងអា deposit ឲ្យគេមកសងអា bond គេប្រាក់ដែលគេទិញជាប្រាក់ស្អីគេស្អី bond ភាសាខ្មែរស្អីគេគ្នាយើងស្អីនេះអានេះគេហៅស្អីខ្ញុំភ្លេចបាត់ហើយខ្ញុំបកផ្ដាយមុនក្រសួងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចឥឡូវយើងយល់ថា bond តោះយើងយល់ថា bond ហើយឬក៏ security យល់តោះយើងឲ្យគេវិញមកគេមិនទៅខាតអីឲ្យមូលបត្រ
បាទមូលបត្រម្ដង
ឲ្យគេទិញជាមូលបត្របើសិនជាយើងរកថាมันមានមិនយើងមិន certify អា three condition ដែលខ្ញុំនិយាយហ្នឹងវាមាន existence of dumping injury និង causal relation ទេបើសិនជាយើង file condition ណាមួយគឺយើងអាចដាក់ measure ហ្នឹងបានអញ្ចឹងសងអានេះឲ្យគេវិញទៅពីព្រោះអានេះគ្រាន់តែលក្ខណៈតម្កល់តាហើយមួយទៀត provisional UD បើសិនជាយើងដាក់ឥឡូវតែយើង investigate បាន2ខែណាហើយស្រាប់តែយើងត្រូវការ3ខែទៀត certificate អញ្ចឹងយើងអាចដាក់provisional UD ត្រឹមមកផុត2ខែនេះអញ្ចឹងរយៈពេល3ខែទៀតយើងយកពន្ធគេជា provisional ហើយពន្ធហ្នឹងគឺស្មើនឹង dumping margin ដែលខ្ញុំប្រាប់ឲ្យយើងយល់ថា dumping margin ចេញមកពីណាប៉ុន្តែស្រាប់តែយើងរកឃើញថា investigation ចប់3ខែក្រោយគឺយើងទៅចប់ investigation ស្រាប់តែរកឃើញថាយើងអត់ certify condition ទាំង3នោះទេយើងគិតចំណង IUT ដែលគេបងនឹងដែលគេបងឲ្យយើងនេះគិតឲ្យគេវិញមកគេសងគេវិញមកអញ្ចឹងនៅពេលដែលបើសិនជា investigation result រកឃើញថា negative គេ negative គឺយើងត្រូវសង negative បានថាអត់មាន dumping អត់មានអីទេ negative ដោយ covid អញ្ចឹងបើតេស្តមក negative គឺអត់មាន covid ទេអានេះអញ្ចឹងដែរបើធ្វើ result investigation result ចេញមកវា negative បានថាអត់មាន dumping ឬក៏អត់ certify នៃ condition to impose ទេអញ្ចឹងសងអាហ្នឹងមកគេវិញមកបើយើងដាក់ provisional UD 3ខែគិតតែ3ខែ UT ដែលយើង collect ពីមុនឲ្យអគ្គនាយកដ្ឋានគយនោះប្រមូលឲ្យគេវិញមកហើយឲ្យគេបន្តនាំចូលទៅពីព្រោះវាមាន injury វាមាន dumping ទេឬក៏បើសិនជាគេឲ្យយើងជា security ជា cash deposit ឬក៏ជា bond ឬក៏ any other equivalent tool គិតឲ្យគេវិញមកបើសិនជាការរកឃើញរបស់យើងគឺ negative គេអវិជ្ជមានអត់មាន dumping ឬក៏មានប៉ុន្តែមាន injury ឬក៏មាន injury ប៉ុន្តែមាន causal relationship អញ្ចឹងអានេះគឺជាគោលបំណងនៃ provisional measure គឺដើម្បីធានាថា domestic industry ហ្នឹងអាច sustain បានពីព្រោះ injury វាមានអញ្ចឹងគាត់បើសិនជាយើងអត់ដាក់ any measure វាទៅជា investigate មួយឆ្នាំវាទៅអត់មានបានដាក់យន្តការឲ្យជនប្រព័ន្ធក្នុងស្រុកឯងនេះអាចប្រឆាំងអាចងើបឡើងអាចបន្តរកស៊ីបាននេះយើងត្រូវតែដាក់ provisional measure អញ្ចឹងតួនាទីនៃ provisional measure ហ្នឹងគឺដើម្បីឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនដែលរងគ្រោះនោះមាន bread គេមានដង្ហើមនៅមិនដកគេពីព្រោះតែដាក់ UT ដែរទៅការនាំចូលវាកាត់បន្ថយហើយបើនាំចូលមិនកាត់បន្ថយទៅបីបន្តក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែវានឹងឡើងតម្លៃថ្លៃហើយវាមិនតម្លៃថោកដូច export price កាលពីមុនទេ Okay so you got a point guys clear now all right Come on, very easy. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes. Good job, Minipa. Okay. So we finish provisional measure. Okay. Second measure is price undertaking. So what is price undertaking? Guy, the word undertaking here is very hard to translate in Khmer. Some say that it is called agreement. In other words, undertaking meansកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀង. Some say that undertaking means ការអនុវត្ត. Some say that undertaking means វិធានការ. So the word undertaking is not uniquely defined or translated in Khmer version. It depends on the context. Okay? In competition law, undertaking means agreement. Okay? In dumping law here, undertaking means measure of doing something. Okay, so I think personally, even I myself, I cannot find any uniquely or any let's say single definitions of the word, single translation versions of the word undertaking here. But let me explain you the concept of undertaking in the dumping agreement here. Okay. So the first one we already studied, the business measure that we allow the importing country to impose, okay, after 60 days or 2 months of the investigation launch. Okay. The second measure is the price undertaking. So what is price undertaking? Price undertaking is not undertaken by the importing country. Okay, not undertaken or not practiced by the importing country, but it is practiced by the exporting countries. So what is it? Price undertaking is the voluntary measure by which exporter raise the price of exporting product to avoid dumping. Okay. So party B is right now conducting or initiating investigation against you, and then you are afraid that if the investigation result is affirmative or positive, that indicated we are right now doing dumping, I'm afraid that we're gonna lose credit to export to that country in the future. So I think we, the exporting company here, shall consider altogether voluntarily raise the price of our export, okay, in order to avoid the chance of being found dumping, avoid the risk of being found dumping by the party B. So it is the voluntary measure from the exporting countries that the exporter not consider but volunteer to raise the price of the product exported to that country in the volume that is not dumping, or the export price is at least equal or higher than the normal value sold at home. Okay. It is only applied, okay, when the investigating authority have made affirmative determination of dumping and the process of dumping is still going on. Okay. So okay, you found that party B is right now conducting investigation, okay, and the preliminary result or preliminary announcements by the authority, the investigation authority, found that you commit dumping, there is injury, there is causal relationship between injury and dumping. Then you say, oh my God, I think it right now the investigation of dumping of a product is right now affirmative. So I think we cannot wait it to be finalized. Okay. While the process is still going on, let us save our credit by voluntarily erasing the export price of our product so that it will not be falling into the situation of dumping anymore. Okay. So it is only applied when the investigating authority have made affirmative determinations of dumping, meaning that there is dumping existing. There exists a dumping that the authority have found, but the investigation process is still going on. We haven't produced any result, any final result. We only announce, we only provide some light to the exporter to be self-aware so that they can actually consider raising the price of export to be compensating the cause, okay, not to be falling into dumping situation. And if the final determination is negative, let's say that there's no dumping, such price undertaking, okay, will automatically lapse, meaning that they will no longer raise the price. The price must be still low as the original price of export price. Okay, so if the final, so we got two stage of determination. The first one is preliminary affirmative determination, means that we made the affirmative determination of dumping in the preliminary way, okay, not the final one. And second one is the final determination. The final determination of negative of dumping. If it is a negative or no dumping, okay, no need to raise the price, okay, or such price undertaking is no longer apply. So you don't need to raise the price because right now the final determinations of dumping is no negative, no dumping. So why do you need to care about losing credit? Why do you need to care about facing the future prospect of any dumping duty and so on? No, don't care. Just sell the same price, the same low export price that you sell in the past, because the final determination found that you have not committed any dumping, right? So that is, of course, the measure voluntarily okay, imposed by the exporter themselves, okay, when they feel that the determination, the final determination is gonna be positive or negative whatsoever, right? So that is their voluntary measure, not by the importing, but by the exporting country during the process of investigation. So you got point number 2 here, guys. So are you clear now?
Yes, like.
Okay. What about the rest? Are you fine? I try to repeat this again and again, right?
Yes,
Yes, right.
Okay.
You explain the price undertaking will automatically lapse. What does it mean?
Price undertaking automatically lapse means that your price raising no longer apply. It means that you go back to the low export price. No need to raise the export price. Lapse here mean over. Okay. Price undertaking mean increasing the export price so that you avoid dumping. Because you found that the investigating authority of importing country provide the affirmative determination of dumping, or you found that the likeliness of dumping from your practice is very high. Okay. The final determination is going to prove that you have dumping, you have committed dumping, you cause injury, and there is causal relationship. So you voluntarily, or you volunteer among your export peer, okay, to raise the price. Okay, let us raise the price so that we will not face any consequences when the final determination found that we are committing dumping. But when the final determination found that you are not committing dumping, guy, don't worry. Okay, no need to raise the price. Keep the export price low, back to its level, original level, lower than the normal value. Let's say that. Okay. So to make it simple, price undertaking means raising export price. So when price undertaking lapse, automatically lapse means you don't need to raise any export price anymore. Okay. Keep it simple. Export price the same to the original level that you apply in the past. Okay, you got a point? Quite easy. Come on.
Yes, I got.
All right. Third measure is the impositions and collections of dumping duty. It is the final determinations of dumping that dumping is existing, there is injury, and there is causal relationship between dumping and injury. Okay. So it's called definitive dumping or anti-dumping duty, anti-dumping measure. It is the last stage of the measure. It means that this is the official imposition or applications of the measure when the dumping investigation is positive, or when the COVID test is positive. There is COVID. Okay. There is dumping. Okay. Positive here means there is dumping. Okay. So the duty must be collected non-discriminately from all sources found to be dumping and causing injury. Okay. Okay. So now let's say that you are right now investigating the imports of country A and country B and country C. Let's say that you are country D, and you are right now investigating the dumping practice from the same product from country A, B, C. And then suddenly when you conduct investigation, you found that all the country A, B, C here commit dumping on that particular one product, the same product here. And then your investigation result is affirmative or positive, meaning that there is dumping, there is injury, there is causal relationship between dumping and injury. But suddenly, you seems to favor party A and party B, and then you only impose anti-dumping duty on country C, and then country B and A no need to impose any dumping duty, just export to my country in the export price, low export price, like you do in the past. No need to care. I don't put any measure in, or I don't punish you. I only punish country C. I hate country C. Let's say that I'm Cambodian, country C is Thailand, and country A is Japan, country B is China. So I favor Japan and China, even though I found that the same product from Japan and China are dumping, are causing injury, and they are causal relationship. However, I still don't impose any measure on China and Japan, but I only impose a measure on Thailand for the same product who I found dumping. It is not allowed. Why? Because if you collect duty to compensate that dumping, it must be collected non-discriminately from all sources. You need to also impose anti-dumping from China, from Japan, from Thailand, the same equal amount according to the dumping margin that you found from each exporter, Thailand, Japan, and Vietnam. So you cannot be selective of the source of the dump import here. You must apply to everybody equally. The duty shall remain enforced only as long as and to the extent necessary to counteract dumping which is causing injury. This last sentence is very vague. What do you mean by but so long as? To what actual time? What if injury is there? Dumping no longer exists, but there is still injury from the dumping. For example, we have no star right now. If you listen to AFE, some star already disappeared millions of years ago, but the lights of the star need to travel millions of years to the Earth. And then right now you're seeing the light on the sky, and then you assume that there's a star, but in fact there is no such star. The star already disappeared. That is called ghost. That is called ghost star. The corpse of the star means that the star already vanished. The star already disappeared from the galaxy. But the lights of the star need to travel millions of years to the Earth. Then you see at daytime you cannot see because of the daylight. But at night, when it is dark, you see that light. But we have no star anymore. There's the lights of the star that need to take many years, millions of years to reach the Earth, to reach your eye. So the question is that, can you punish that star? If that star no longer exists, but the impacts of that star still lasts until now. That's the question. I like questioning this kind of vague legal language in order to win the case. The duty shall remain enforced only as long as and to the extent necessary to counteract dumping which is causing injury. What if there is no dumping anymore, but the past dumping still cause injury? So will you need to impose the duty on that, or the duty shall no more enforced of effect anymore? Because there's no dumping anymore, but there are still remaining impact or effect or injury. So you got my question, guy? You understand this point, but you have to also answer my question. What do you mean by necessary, and what do you mean by so long as? What if dumping no longer exists, but the injury still exists? Do you need to still counteract or respond to the original dumping? Do you still punish that product when the product is no longer dumped, but it past dumping practice still cause injury up until now? So you got my point, you got my question?
Got it. How you mean, like, even after they stop doing the dumping, but the company still have impact?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means we still have to remain the dumping measure.
I don't know. That is what I have to ask. What do you mean by last as long as? I have no right to interpret here. The law said that as long as, but what do you mean if there is no dumping but injury is there? That is of course as long as injury, but there's no dumping. Come on, or to the extent necessary. But what do you mean to extent? In what extent exactly that you call it necessary? Answer to me now. Okay. Yesterday, one student, he studied in the UK, and then he called to me, teacher, I'm right now doing my dissertation on WTO, and I want to do research on the effectiveness of WTO, the dispute settlement body. And then right now I have the question, is the WTO effective in providing dispute resolution to the party? And then, a very good question anyway. But let me ask you, how do you define effectiveness? Teacher, effectiveness means that compared to ICJ, that we got only 25 cases, but ICJ has not yet successfully sold all the 25 cases. ICJ has only finished few cases out of the 25 cases, but even the PCA at the H court, for example, permanent court of arbitration, we got only a few cases, but we haven't finished all the cases out there. But WTO, the dispute settlement body, we got 100, let's say the 500 cases, and we sold almost all cases. Then I think that is called effectiveness. And then I question again, what if it sold all cases, but all the cases are unfair? Okay. Let's say that all cases are sold, but there is no fairness in that case resolution. There is the verdict between A and B, but we found that the verdict is not fair. So is it effective? You got my question, guys? You say that the effectiveness of the dispute settlement system of the WTO is based on the number of cases that have been successfully adjudicated. And then he said that is effectiveness because compared to ICJ, compared to PCA, compared to the other courts, for example, ICID, for example, other convention arbitration and so on, I don't know. Dispute settlement system of the WTO is the best because it can solve 500 cases so far, compared to ICJ only 20 cases, compared to PCA only a few cases, compared to ICID only a few cases. So I believe that the dispute settlement body of the dispute settlement system of the WTO is effective. And then I asked, how can you say that the very large number of cases adjudicated is the evidence of effectiveness of the DDIS, the dispute settlement system of the WTO? What if you already finished that case, you already provided, but you finish that case, you clear that case, but that case is not fair? Because law is to provide the process and the fair outcome, the court. What if A and B are right now having conflict, and then they submit the conflict, they submit the dispute to me, and then I allow you B to win the case, A lose the case. Okay, I finish that case successfully, effective. See, I'm so effective. But what if you provide the resolution that is not fair? Okay, if that guy is rich, that guy poor, and then you provide the verdict to the rich. Or if you provide a verdict to the poor because that guy is poor, not based on the law, but based on the sentiment, the emotion you got for that poor guy. Is it called effective? Based on the number of cases that you adjudicated, while the level of fairness is still far or remote from possibility, from existence? Is it fair, guy? Is it effective when something that you provide is not fair? Just my question, right? What do you mean by the word necessary? What do you mean by the word as long as? What if dumping no longer exists, but injury is still here? You found injury, but you don't find any dumping anymore. But there is still linkage between a dumping and injury. Injury is caused by the dumping, even though the dumping is no longer existing. You got a point, guys? Vô nhầm vậy á, vô nhầm vậy cái này gì? ពុនប្រឆាំងការលុបខូចថ្លៃត្រូវតែបន្តដាក់រហូតដល់ឬក្នុងស្ថានភាពណាក្នុងកម្រិតណាដែលចាំបាច់ដើម្បីប្រឆាំងការលុបខូចថ្លៃដែលកំពុងតែបង្ក injury ប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវអាការបង្ខូចថ្លៃវាអត់នៅទៀតទេប៉ុន្តែវានៅតែបន្សល់ impact នៃ injury ហ្នឹង injury វានៅតែមានក្រុមហ៊ុននេះគឺលក់លេងដាច់តែម្ដងក្រុមហ៊ុននោះលេង dumping ហើយលេងដាំហើយប៉ុន្តែអាក្រុមហ៊ុនដែល injury ពីមុននោះដោយសារ dumping ពីមុននោះលក់លេងណៃគ្មានអ្នកគេមើលហ្មងគឺគេនៅតែជាប់ចិត្តជាមួយអាផលិតផលដែលគេដាំមកដែលគេលក់ខូចថ្លៃប្រជាពលរដ្ឋគឺអត់ទេខ្ញុំតាំងពីប្រើផលិតផលមកអាតម្លៃថោកគុណភាពល្អស្រឡាញ់ហ្មងបាទអាតម្លៃក្នុងស្រុកដែលគេធ្លាប់លក់ដាច់ពីមុនលេងដាច់ទៅដោយហើយដល់ពេលឥឡូវអស់ dumping ហើយតម្លៃនោះនៅថ្លៃដែរតម្លៃនោះលក់មកលេងថោកហើយគឺថ្លៃវិញប្រការគេដាក់ dumping duty យើងដាក់យកយើងប្រទេសនោះគឺគាត់សម្រេចចិត្តតម្លើងតម្លៃវិញអញ្ចឹងលេងថោកហើយប៉ុន្តែ consumer នៅស្រុកនេះតែអាថ្លៃគេដល់ក៏ប្រើដែរពីព្រោះប្រើអាហ្នឹងកន្លងមកចង់ប្រើនេះរៀងល្អគ្រាន់បើអញ្ចឹងសួរថាក្រុមហ៊ុនក្នុងស្រុកបន្ត cause injury បន្ត face injury អត់នេះយើងបន្ត face injury yes បន្ត face injury អញ្ចឹងសំណួរថាតើយើងក៏ដាក់ anti dumping duty ទៅលើផលិតផលនោះទៀតអត់បើសិនជាលែងដាំប៉ុន្តែ injury នៅតែមានឬក៏ឥឡូវតើយើងដាក់ anti dumping duty អត់បើសិនជា UT dumping នៅតែមានប៉ុន្តែ injury ចាប់ផ្ដើមថយចុះប៉ុន្តែសួរថាតើវាថយចុះកម្រិតណាទើបយើងលែងដាក់កម្រិតណាប្រហែល%ហើយយើងទៅវាស់អាការថយចុះហ្នឹងមិនអា extend ហ្នឹងកម្រិតណាអញ្ចឹងវាមិនមែន2 + 2 4ណាវាជា examination ជា process ជា investigation ដែលយើងត្រូវមើលទៅតើវាដល់កម្រិតណាដែលយើងត្រូវតែដក anti dumping duty ហ្នឹង injury កម្រិតណាពេលយើងរាល់ថ្ងៃយើងស្ដាប់ការស្រាវជ្រាវរបស់វិទ្យាសាស្ត្រទៅរាល់ថ្ងៃនេះអត់មានផ្កាយទេផ្កាយខ្លះគឺស្លាប់បាត់ហើយអ្វីដែលយើងផ្កាយកូនមាន់ហ្នឹងគឺផ្កាយកូនមាន់ហ្នឹងស្លាប់1លានឆ្នាំមុន2លានឆ្នាំមុនហើយប៉ុន្តែពលឺវាត្រូវការឆ្នាំពលឺគេហៅឆ្នាំពលឺរយៈពេលពលឺវាត្រូវការ100ឆ្នាំដើម្បីមកដល់ផែនដីអញ្ចឹងវាមកតាមឥឡូវយើងមើលឃើញវាអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែអាផ្កាយវាដែលនៅពីមុនហ្នឹងអាម្ចាស់វាហ្នឹងវាងាប់អស់ហើយអស់ផ្កាយហើយផ្កាយកូនមាន់ផ្កាយអស់លេងហើយប៉ុន្តែពលឺវានៅតែបន្តរាល់ថ្ងៃនៅ24ម៉ោងអញ្ចឹងពេលថ្ងៃយើងមើលឃើញពេលយប់យើងមើលឃើញពេលថ្ងៃយើងមើលឃើញពេលយប់យើងមើលឃើញយើងឃើញរាល់ថ្ងៃឲ្យពេលយប់យើងឃើញរាល់យប់ប៉ុន្តែសួរទៅរកផ្កាយនេះឃើញអត់ផ្កាយទេមានផ្កាយព្រោះណាពលឺវាត្រូវការរយៈពេលពលឺគេថារយៈពេលពលឺlight ស្អីមិនដឹងភាសាអង់គ្លេសមិនប៉ុន្តែហ្នឹងគឺគេហៅថាខ្មោចហ្នឹងគេហៅថាខ្មោចផ្កាយគឺថាមានខ្មោចអត់ដូចជាលោកណាគេបកស្រាយថាអ្នកប្រាជ្ញម្នាក់គាត់ឈរស្រាប់តែកូនគាត់សួរតើលើលោកនេះមានខ្មោចអត់គាត់ថាមានណាខ្មោចហ្នឹងមិនខ្មោចហ្នឹងគឺគាត់តែងាកទៅលើឃើញណាខ្ញុំឃើញតែផ្កាយឃើញតែពលឺហ្នឹងហើយជាខ្មោចពីព្រោះអ្វីកូនឯងឃើញហ្នឹងគឺជាសំណល់វាដែលវាកំពុងតែធ្វើដំណើរមកផែនដីប៉ុន្តែអាធាតុដើមវាវាអានេះវាអស់លេងហើយតម្រងវាអស់ហើយនៅសល់តែពលឺដូចខ្ញុំបាញ់ក្រូចចាពៀមទៅយើងអញ្ចឹងណាខ្ញុំបាញ់ទៅឥឡូវទៅសន្មតថាក្រូចចាពៀមខ្ញុំហ្នឹងបាន3គីឡូខ្ញុំបាញ់ទៅវើស្រាប់តែបាញ់ឲ្យខ្ញុំរត់បាត់ដល់ពីពួកយើងរកខ្ញុំអត់ឃើញទេថាលោកគ្រូបន្ថនអ្នកបាញ់ប៉ុន្តែសួរថារកខ្ញុំឃើញអត់ខ្ញុំអត់មានប៉ុន្តែនៅសល់អាសំណល់នៅសល់ក្របហ្នឹងកំពុងហោះទៅតែយើងឃើញអាក្របហ្នឹងbecause injury ប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវយើងរកថាលោកគ្រូមានបាញ់ខ្ញុំមានបាញ់ខ្ញុំបាញ់5នាទីមុនប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវអ្នកឯងទៅបាយក្បាល5នាទីក្រោយហ្នឹងហើយអ្នកឯងរកឃើញ link hack របស់ខ្ញុំមិនកើតអូខេអញ្ចឹងនេះជាសំណួរ ខ្លីៗប៉ុន្តែពិចារណាផ្លូវច្បាប់ទៅបាទ dumping អត់មានទេប៉ុន្តែអា dumping ពីមុនវានៅបន្ត injury គេវាធ្វើឲ្យគេលែងទិញផលិតផលខ្ញុំហើយណែឯងលក់ក្នុងតម្លៃថ្លៃជាងមុនហើយឥឡូវប៉ុន្តែគេនៅតែទិញតម្លៃនេះឯងទោះបីថ្លៃក៏ដោយពីព្រោះគេជាប់ចិត្តនឹងផលិតផលនេះឯងអញ្ចឹងរដ្ឋាភិបាលត្រូវតែដាក់បន្តពន្ធទៀតពីព្រោះអាហ្នឹងវានៅតែមាន injury ជាងទោះបីជាលែងដាំក៏ដោយលែងលក់ខូចថ្លៃក៏ដោយលែងលក់ក្នុងតម្លៃថោកក៏ដោយយើងសួរគេសួរពីថៃបើខ្ញុំលែងដាំហើយណែឯងមិនត្រូវដាក់ពន្ធលើខ្ញុំ injury ហ្នឹងគឺ injury សល់ពីណាបើមកពីណែអត់ update technology ទៅមុនពីមុនថាទៅខ្ញុំវាលក់ថោកវាណែលក់ទៅមិនឈ្នះខ្ញុំពីព្រោះខ្ញុំលក់ថោកជាងតម្លៃដែលខ្ញុំលក់ក្នុងស្រុកខ្ញុំទទួលស្គាល់ថាខ្ញុំដាំប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវខ្ញុំលក់ថ្លៃវិញទៅស្មើឬក៏ថ្លៃជាងតម្លៃខ្ញុំលក់ក្នុងស្រុកទៅបើថាវាលែងដាំតែមិនបានឯងនៅមកបន្តថា injury ទៀត you got a point guys okay
Yes, teacher.
all right so I give you 15 minutes to prepare for your examination. I'm gonna upload the exams paper at 7:00. Okay, are you okay, guys? And again, one question will be from this chapter. Dumping. So are you ready for that?
Let's go, sir. Let's go.
Yes, yes.
Go now, or you want to take exam right now? Or you need
No,
15
no. Let's go. Let's go. 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, see you at 7:00, right? Hello, guys. As an announcement, I'm gonna upload my exams paper on the new channel, which number 6 midterm examination. I think you already found that on your my Microsoft team, and then I'm gonna upload on the section of file. You can go to check on file, and then you will see the Word versions of my midterm exam paper. And do not forget, when you finish your paper, you need to submit before the deadline of my midterm exam session here, and you must also convert the file into PDF, okay, into PDF, and then putting the name in front of the original title. Let's say that Sok Bun Thon midterm exam paper. Okay, keep the original title, okay, behind, okay, or after your name. Okay, so insert your name in front of the original title. Are you fine? Can you get a point now? And do not forget to make it into PDF, right? Not Word version.
Sure, so upload only PDF, right? Sir?
Yeah, upload only PDF, right? Again, only PDF. Okay, and then put your name, insert your name before the original title.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
okay. The rest are you fine?
Yes, teacher, I'm fine.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, good.
Fine,
Good.
sir, fine.
Okay,
Vinay,
right.
Vinay.
Good luck, guys. See you. Hello guys, you guys can check right now. Can you see the file uploaded right now? 2022 midterm exam on training negotiation. Go to the new channel midterm exam and check file.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys got now? Okay, good luck guys. You're gonna submit back to me at 8:30, all right? Good luck. And submit on the same channel, okay? Midterm exam week 6 here. Thank you.